Hello YouTube. So I just got back from Gen Con. The format is basically over now, but I still figured I'd go ahead and show the two tournaments I played and how I did in them at Gen Con, and then quickly just hop into some more gameplay while talking about future plans for the channel, basically. But yeah, just real quickly, I got to play in a Thursday TC and the regional on Saturday. That's really all I got to do at Gen Con. I had Naruto on Friday. That game's fun, by the way. Looking forward to that. Um, yeah, so Thursday I played. Also, real quickly, actually, I notice how it says same. All my lists, all my posts always say same Rosi list. There's a reason this is my pinned post, right? It's the same list. I played it the entire format. There's no Gum Gum Lightning. I don't know the infinite amount of people who ask me what I think about Gum Gum Lightning. I don't play it, so I think you can tell I don't like it. I don't know. uh, but yeah, so same list that I've played for the entire format, basically, outside of the very first tournament of the format in Peoria, where it was like one card different. But yeah, so there was a lot. Actually, it was mainly like, honestly, all five of the decks are actually very represented. I felt like, um, obviously teaching Rosie a little bit less so than the other three, Goofy, Nami, and No. But even those, I felt like it was a very even spread from what it seemed like. Well, even as it could be. Obviously, Goofy and Nami seemed like the most prevalent still by far. But yeah, so for Goofy, Lucy, Goofy, Teach Goofy, and I won dice rolls for once. It's dope. Uh, but yeah, I got lucky. I think I got a lot better at the Goofy matchup than I was before. Like, I think this weekend I was able to refine how I play that a little bit. I also got very lucky though with a lot of the games. But then, oh, that's not the right one. You can ignore the rest. I'm just ranting because I was salty. This shit happened. I did bubble ninth on Saturday, so I won the TC on Thursday, but then on Saturday I went X1 bubbled ninth. Unlucky shit happens, I guess. Round one was a Lucy. I'm pretty sure these rounds are correct. I just don't remember all the dice rolls. I know I won like 3 or 4 all day, about par for the course. 4 would be above average, I guess. I don't know. I won one dice into Croc. I won dice into Mirror. And I think I won dice into this Nami. And maybe one of the Goofies. That sounds right. So maybe I won 4 dice rolls. One of the Goofies, round 8, 9, and I think pretty sure I won dice against Croc, Nami, Mirror. But the Mirror doesn't matter because I chose second, and they're always gonna choose first anyway. But yeah. So it was Lucy into Croc and a Nami, Goofy. No, and that was my one loss. It was against Aaron, the Worlds competitor Aaron, who got the Worlds with the Ace. Unfortunately, there was just nothing to do that game. I did what I could, but he won dice roll and then played 4 Nels in a row, so I died. Goofy, one of these Goofies on 4 or 5. I also got really lucky where I swung like 6 at a buggy where they had like 4 or 5 in hand and it died. And then I swung 6 at another as a character and they gave me Gum Gum Rain. So lucky, better be lucky than good. That's how you get, results. Just be lucky. It's that simple. And then this mirror game was actually like very. I'm not going over every game obviously, but this mirror game was actually like very intense. I missed promo, and then he actually played promo on 2, and decided to forego the first Rosie Law. I guess because he had another one, so he went promo, and I just had nothing. After his second promo, I played Rosie Law. Game progressed from there, and I had like a pretty cool lethal line that definitely wasn't math, but he wasn't expecting it, so it worked out. Where he had like 6 in hand, 2 blockers, 1 Dawn, 1 life, and I have Sokka, Rosie, and a weenie to swing with. I think Sokka, Rosie, and a weenie. So 2 Rosies, a Sokka, and a weenie. Plus my leader. I have Departure Mama, but he has 2 blockers, so I don't use it right away. And I also have Riplaw. So I actually just start 9 with Sokka. And He could have blocked, but he decided to just take, which is kind of what I expect most people to do in that spot. So he takes the 7, and I go leader effect, play Riplaw, Rip 2. I hit 2k in a brick, so I don't know if the Riplaw actually made a difference. Or if it would have been the same if I just attached it to Don, but I feel like it made a difference. But obviously, I was just hoping to get lucky, because I was in a dire spot where I basically had to go for game. I had a Borsellino. I could have tried to like heal to 1 and float 3 blockers, but it would have just been like a losing battle if I did that. Even if I live next turn, he just like blockers up again and kills my board, and yeah. So I was going for game, but I was trying to like make it look like I could pivot or make the math weird for him. So I did that. Then I went 7 into his 5-card hand with 1 Dawn. He goes, "I love you." Add a 2k, pitch a 1k. He didn't want to free block with Rosie Law. His blockers were Rosie Law, Boysa. I was hoping he free blocked because I have Departure Mama. But then from there, I have 6 Dawn left, 2 Rosie Laws, and a Weenie. So, and he has 2 blockers. So the math is just 8 with 4 in hand, no Dawn. So if he can counter 8, he wins. But I go 8 with Rosie Law, and he just blocks. So once he blocks, the math is now better than 8 because I can just go Departure Mama with Rosie Law and go 9. And then the 9 was actually exact lethal. He had 2/1/1 brick. So if he just counters that first 8, I always lose, but he just didn't want to give 3 cards there. I think it was definitely a misplay, but you gotta, like, that's the final round. He was obviously good, right? So always play to your opponent misplaying, you know? Play to your outs. But yeah, so he blocked the 8, and then I went attach it on to Rosie, Departure Mama, swing 9, and it just barely got there. So that was cool. I was hype. Thought I was getting a cereal. Unlucky, did not. Shit happens. Yeah, so now we're going into the games. Whoops. Wrong screen. Going into the games. Same list as I've been playing for the whole starter deck format. Once again, no Gum Gum Lightning. I don't like the card. It has its uses. If you like it, play it. Plenty of people have play it. I think basically everyone but me and my groups that copy me play it. So it's a fine card. I just don't like it. Twister, I think, is insane in this format. Alright, well, this is gonna be. Okay, no, I think I found the games. These are surely the games. And then just going over. Yeah, game 1 is a Goofy. Then it's 2 Mihawks. It's a decent hand. We have Curve, right? The Sakamama. But going over plans for the channel. Obviously, like, it's harder to upload. I'm traveling like every week. I get like 1 week off after Sweden in like a few weeks. So it's hard to upload all the time. I'm not on my computer a bunch. I'm trying to get like anywhere from 1 to 3 episode videos out a week when I am home for a few days. But it also, like, I know people said they just like seeing gameplay, but at some point it does feel monotonous. I'm still enjoying it, but it's just like at some point you can only watch so many Mihawk, Rosi v Mihawk games and yeah, whatnot. Unfortunate. He has the Colvin. It's not the end of the world though. I do decide to counter again. I personally, I know a lot of people like to save Mama to rest their weenies to play around restand. I personally just like to keep a healthy hand and counter out of restand. It also kind of baits them to go for it. So I like to counter with Mama when I can. But yeah, so basically this starter deck format, if I'm on Rosie, I'm pretty like comfortable into all the matchups as far as what my game plan is. Obviously, I'll still play the format some. You do just free block this to make him turn his board, so you can keep clearing his board. But so basically, long story short, once 17 is out, I do need to start testing for Nats because I do want to try and go to Worlds and or do good at Nats and all that. Um, yeah, just 2K that. I actually do a weird line here. I go 5 at this. If he ever lets it die, that's fine. Then we'll just uh go to the next play of. We'll just do what I was gonna do anyway. But I always expect him to free block. So instead of like, I think a lot of people would probably assume you should like Sokka at this point or something, and it's not the worst, but I actually decided to go like Borsalino Riplaw. Then after ripping 2, I decided to swing 8 at the 6 instead because I can clear these next turn. I just ripped 2. If he wants to give me 2 more, it feels very yellow on his side. So I clear 1 instead of 2 bodies, but given our board, because we found no weenies, it's kind of always going to be the case. And this Luffy's like, I guess it's not that hard to swing, right? It's still going to be a 5 for 1. Yeah, the awkward part is just how bricked up we are. But I do just take first life because we're going to take a couple here anyway. And we get lucky 2K. Definitely very lucky 2K. But I think we still kind of like had to make that play with our hand. Then here I go for another like, I don't know. I think you just kind of have to go this line. But instead of doing like any Sokka shenanigans when we're basically dead or double develop or whatever, or like play stage first and try to play a Rosi Law or anything, I decided to just keep pressuring his hand and go like 6, 6, 6 at this buggy. If he wants to give me 3 cards, then we just have to survive a turn or 2. And then I'll just like play the promo law, play stage, and I'll actually probably cycle stage this turn because we're just trying to live. Yeah, I definitely started stage. I'll just take I Love You. I Love You is like the best card in this matchup. I was debating going like 8 at it, but I decided to just keep poking 6. This way, if I go 8 and play promo, I don't get to float 2 for I Love You. I don't really expect to play around DMG this early. And if I go 7, like that's just bad, right? So I just go 6, 6. I don't get to block with this, but I can just block with it later. Just keep getting all the cards out of his hand. So if he doesn't kill us next turn, we can like start coming back. Cycle, get one of these Sokkas out. It also puts us to 6 Dawn, which happens to be convenient when we top deck the Mama. So definitely like lucky sequencing here, like lucky draws, but you're also just playing to your out. You don't free block right away here because he definitely could be threatening a V-stand angle. You're kind of gonna need all your blocks potentially. But yeah, like I was saying, so once OP17 is out on the sim and once we have the full card set and everything, I'm gonna start like figuring out what deck I want to play for 17. So I'll probably start uploading like, it won't be just Rosi in the future basically, because that's part of the problem. And I think I don't know how many people here like seeing just Rosi or how many people would like to like diversify it. But obviously I'm just gonna upload what I play. But in 17, I mean I'll try Rosi, but unlikely I play Rosi, given how much power creep is coming in. Another 2K off Mama. Again, we can't just free block that 5. But here we do have exactly enough to not die. We can block the 9 and go counter the 5, 6, 6. But so basically, I haven't looked at all the spoilers. I looked at a lot of the blue cards that were shown today. Zebek Rocks or whatever. He looks pretty cool. So I think my leading contenders for me personally are like Rocks and Luffy. So yeah. I might try out Kaido a little bit. I basically refuse to play green. But yeah, so just going in the future. I might start speeding up these quick because I think this video is probably a little long because of the intro. It's not that bad, I guess. Here, it's definitely awkward. We were hoping to keep our Borsa and probably just send lethal, but we're not really able to do that now. So I think I decide to just clear as much as I can. I'm gonna hit the boa. He has one card in hand, right? So it is math. Go stage. Unfortunately, we draw another brick. Just get rid of the Sokka. You could play Kobe here and try to upgrade it to a 2K, but I think it's pretty greedy. Pretty sure we've seen 2 Surus already, and we're only on 3. We don't have any extra, so just one 2K for it to upgrade to. And we can't really upgrade it to a... We can't really upgrade it to an I Love You because we wouldn't have the Dawn. And anything else like would just be a 1K. And the only other 1K realistically is probably like a Borsalino that you really don't even want to counter with. You'd rather save it. So instead we just like don't search, save it for counter. I do decide to swing my blockers. I do the math. You know, like if he DMGs, we die, unlucky. He has 2 in hand. But if he just has like normal numbers just splitting on 5 and 3, it's like 9-9, so we can live. The Luffy, like, I think it's almost impossible for him to incorporate the Luffy. He starts 7, just doesn't want to commit, I suppose. Just add the 2K, pitch the Kobe. You could argue to pitch the 2K, keep the Kobe to try and find a Borsa. But I think once he does this, like, there's a decent chance these just don't even swing, so maybe I can just try to add the counter and play the Rosi Law. Culverin's my Whiplaw. Leader effect. I think this was a boa, if I remember correctly, but I might not remember correctly. Actually, no, I don't think I do remember correctly. Don't know. Oh, it's a prisoner, I think. Yeah. We do top deck Borsa, and that basically seals it, right? We just go 5-8 Borsa Rosi Law. And then just to be like super safe, like he's basically guaranteed dead next turn. I decided to keep Departure over Kobe just in case life's a bricks. But I just float all 3 blockers, and I just don't think there's ever a world where we can die here. He goes 5. I do just snap free block. I'm not sure if that's technically correct, but I think it's fine. I'm not really too sure what would punish it. He goes 8 at Borsa. Part of me wants to block take, but then we just like lose to Luna, basically. So I think after thinking for a while, I decided to just counter this. And we're basically going to be sending lethal next turn. And if he Lunas these, even though I accounted for it, it's still fine. We just split on Rosi and stuff. He'd have no active Dawn with 1 in hand, so just math. So from here we counter for it. He Gaudinos my Sokka and passes. I just go 8. It's just math basically, no matter what happens here. So yeah, close Goofy game. The restand was definitely scary. We got some lucky top decks and draws, but it's just because we bricked up and saw no weenies early. Unfortunately, sometimes that shit happens. Next we have a Mihawk. This game was unfortunate. Leave it at that. I do love seeing promo in my hand, and it's very tempting to keep. And I think it's kind of an okay keep. But I do decide with no way to find Rosi Law, I don't really want to risk it. So I do decide to mulligan this hand. This is a decent hand, right? We have Riplaw on 4, 2 chances to find Rosi Law. That can also find more chances to find Rosi Law. I do start Rosi because it's Just get more info before we do the search with more options, since Rosie has less options to take. But then we do this. We bought on Borsa, love you, Borsa, love you, Borsa. And whiff. Whiffing sucks, not the end of the game. This whiff, I think, is just like end of the fucking game. Like, it's very unfortunate. I couldn't really believe my eyes, but some shit. um, yeah, if I just searched in the other order, we were chilling. Although we probably don't find Rosie Law, I guess. So maybe not. But yeah, it was very hard. So now, like, we need to play a ton of searches, or we're just playing with one Borsalino all game, and two I love yous at most. So all of our like best ways to keep card advantage, right? Which we kind of need when we just whiffed. Swing 5, they take, we rip law. If they don't take, you probably still play rip law for 4, and then just hope to find stage with mean forward and stuff next turn. I do decide to counter this to stay healthy. Actually, no, I decided to take it because I want to find Rosie Law. That's right. I decided to take it because I'm like, if I don't find Rosie Law, I'll just play Borsa. So just take that one. He does swing the Perona. I said don't. I just play Borsa, but I guess like that doesn't really work if I'm searching, right? I think it was just YOLO. Like I was just like, this game's already downhill. If I don't see Rosie Law here, I just scoop basically. I've searched 2 times. It's like mathematically should be in the next search. Borsa probably isn't good enough to keep me in this game after we whiff and bottom deck all those cards. So we don't have event, so I decided since he doesn't have Kiku or stage, I'm just gonna clear the weenies and forget about event this game. I decided to play the Rosie, specifically looking for a 2K law because I don't think we've seen any yet. Except we might have seen one, but I don't think we did. But I really wanted to get a 2K law into rotation, and just to have a 2K for this turn. Just block the smoker. He has another smoker. Definitely scary, the banish. Swing to 8. I'm pretty sure, yeah, just block 1. I have 1 Borsa, so I am trying to stay healthy. I wish this event was live, but again, we didn't play for it just because of the circumstances. I don't think it's that bad though. Like you can still just cycle it. I think it's still fine that we didn't play towards it. It has a very small hand. I think most Mihawks just take in this spot. He does decide to counter though. I have to go stage, and stage draws a 2K. So once stage draws a 2K, I actually decide to be greedy and swing at this Mihawk. I think I do agree with the swing, but it is like very risky and not amazing that we have no blockers and no dawn up into the smoker swinging at us. But my main concern was if I don't swing it and then he just goes like Odin or something, like it feels so bad to not get cards out of his hand while we can and be pressured. Go 7. I don't die to a split, I don't think. Actually maybe I did, but they're never going for it. At least not in a full like just send off Vidon. Like full commit 10-10 or whatever the math would have been, 11-11. But we do get a 2K. Also, like I said, when I feel like I'm Omega behind, I do play much more YOLO. Honestly, should maybe just take that, but I guess that if I took that, I was dead to 12. So I actually no, I can't just take it. You also just can't count with Borsa, so just give 3 2s. But yeah, just get like, you know, the game's already going bad for us. Just like hope we can YOLO this game to a win somehow. He does go 10, so luckily he basically passes his turn. So like that's really good. Um, Here it's like kind of awkward what the ideal play is. Well, the ideal play is 8/8 at these. They die. Sokka effect, Rosi Law, Borsa. But that shouldn't ever like really be a possibility. Except I think it actually does work here. I do just start 8. I just want to keep checking. Like, maybe he doesn't want to give me like, every card in his hand. And he basically decides that is the case. I don't think I Sokka this. I'm pretty sure I just win another 8. Like, okay, wait, are they both dying? And they do. So now it feels like we've came back and we've won. Justice event. It's just awkward because we are like much lower on card advantage than we would want to be. Does play Shanks, Pop Arsaka. Annoying for sure, but not the end of the world. Ideally, we would top deck a Mama here to clear the Shanks. Kinemon, rest his leader. He doesn't really think he's going to be able to. He doesn't want to just attach 3, I guess, for some reason. Yeah, he's just trying to recoup his hand. Play for the late game, I suppose. It's not really realistic to go for game here. Honestly, like I want to. I didn't track my bottom deck enough this game. Which really should have, right? Considering what we bottomed, but I really wasn't. Because again, I just kind of click buttons on the sim half the time. Go with my gut and in fundamentals, but I don't think we're like too close to getting back to the Borsalinos. But I think we probably should be trying to with the stage. Like I play when I have an active stage and stage in hand. I like to utilize the filter on this stage before I search, but sometimes that gets kind of awkward with the Dawn usage and everything. So I think I'll make a slight misplay with how I use my Dawn here if I wanted to do that. I go 7 with leader, planning to cycle with stage and then just play my stage. But I wanted the swing to be big enough so it doesn't feel like I'm wasting Dawn. But the thing is, I only played this turn. The stage doesn't find anything good. Is Sokka. So, but Sokka, I need 8 Dawn before I play it to make sure I have an active, which means I can't go stage and then play Sokka, because then I'd have no active Dawn. I mean, you probably could do that to be fair, but I don't think it's great. So I think honestly this should just be a 6, cycle a stage, and then depending on what we draw, go with the plan of play next stage, and then see what we get from there. Maybe play a Sokka. Yeah, I do this, and then I actually decide. I think I decided to get rid of stage, which basically means I'm never getting back to my Borsalinos, or get rid of departure. Okay, I get rid of departure. But I do decide to just play this Sokka. Then I go here. I think I'll go stage from here, hoping. Yeah, sure, just hit one. I should. Unless I was trying to play around DMG. Maybe I was playing around DMG. I think I was playing around DMG. You could like stage here and like try to cycle into another Mama. It's like high roll, but it might be fine. But I decided to just play around DMG. I do the math. I don't think I'm ever dead if I swing this Rosi. So I do decide to just swing it and float 2 into Borsalino. Even double DMG, we're fine, right? We have the 2Ks, so it's perfectly okay. Law Beppo, stun our Saka. So now we're definitely scared of Luna. And given we know we're not getting back to Borsalinos and everything, kind of like don't want to rest the Borsalino, right? So we're never going to free block this. Obviously, I think about it for a while. I'm trying to remember if I'm getting back to my other Borsalinos, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Again, I wasn't tracking all the way. But especially when we don't search with stage last turn, like we probably should have. It's kind of hard to play for another turn here. So I'm pretty sure I just decided to take here, because why not? If I think I'm sending lethal anyway. Like, he's going to stun these Rosi Laws, and he's going to have 1 active Dawn, 6 in hand. And our swings are 15-7 or 16. I think 15-7 is just better. But like, that's just so much counter. After this, like, he Beppo stuns and then has infinite counter. Like, it's possible. But I just don't really, choose to play around it. I'm like, we could maybe, once we get the second stage, we might be able to play a Borsellino and play another turn here. And, play Blocker Law. Like, it is 100% possible, but I just didn't remember where my Borsellinos were. So, like, it's like a big misplay, me not remembering my stack and how many times I searched. But again, I click buttons. But like, if I did know that I was getting to a Borsellino, I think this hand can play another turn for sure and make him have another stun. We play 3 blockers. We have 4 2Ks. We just need to find, like, if we find the Borsellino, we find an I Love You too, is the thing, because they were all stacked like that. So I think we could always play another turn if we were getting back to that stack of Borsa and I Love Yous, but I wasn't sure. So I think about it for a bit, do the math. I'm pretty sure 15-7 is better than just going 16. So I just send 15-7. It's like 4K 2-2-1-1. He's allowed 1 break in hand. But it's a 3K 2-2-1-1. So now he's not allowed any bricks in hand. But he does have no bricks in hand, unfortunately. Gave 3-2. I'm pretty sure that count is just 16 as well. Yeah, it's the same in that case with that hand. We go 16. He got to 16, right? And he still had a 1K, so it wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah, I'm not. Again, it's just like, I think he's very likely to die there a lot of the time. Mihawk having exactly Beppo plus stun event plus no bricks is actually kind of crazy. But I think there's probably a world where we could have played towards another turn if we just were like more focused. So that's fine. Shit happens. And lastly, another Mihawk game. Kind of just had this one here for filler. I don't think there's anything too special. I also don't think my opponent played amazingly. But I was just trying to at least keep it 3 games. I will speed it up though. We opened like basically a god hand. Decided between Borsa and 2K. I decided I want a 2K because I like countering the first swing a lot of the times, depending on what they swing. So I wanted a card I could counter with, and I wouldn't really want to counter with Borsa like that. Five stage promo. He thinks, he takes. Stage I find. Oh, sorry. I was just trying to speed up the decision on there. Yeah, we just take Kobe there. We're still trying to find a Sokka basically. Obviously, we're just taking 8. I decided to start Kobe in case I find another Navy searcher that I need to play to find the Sokka for next turn. Even though, like, decent chance we just play event. We do that, then draw, go 6/6. Again, like a small fundamentals thing. You should just like, I mean, I guess if he should just take that first 6, basically, is what I'm saying, and then counter the second one. But like, maybe if I don't swing the 6, he's upset for taking. I don't know. So you could just event here, but decide like he probably has another one of these plays next turn, and there's no guarantee they'll go sideways. He just saw me search Sokka, and he still put him sideways first of all, but he did it because he wanted to search with the event. So like, you know, greed, greedy as hell. But I guess he decided he was okay with it. So once he puts it sideways, just Sokka it, develop my 8K, and then like if we keep these here, if he doubles again, he'll go to 5. So I can still just event next turn to kill the next 2 bodies that come down. It's basically the gist of it. So not swinging at those keeps event live. It also lets us actually hit his life, right? Because otherwise we're just wasting. I say wasting. Like it can be fine to hit the weenie sometimes. You just have to be smart about when you do it, especially when you're on Dragon Twister. Just hit 5/6 at life. Let it go. So now it's like even more likely that it will be live, right? I do just take a free block. This could be like a 7 and then like, damn, I wish I 2K'd, but nah, it's fine. Smoker. Switch 5. Once he switches 5, just always expecting stun, right? Which is not bad for us. We're kind of okay if they want to start using stun events this early. We're allowed to like hit this before we event. So that way we don't show what our play is. Because like I think a lot of the time they don't want to give 4 cards for this Odin here. So I go 8, he gives me 2. I go 8, he does give me 2. And then we just go Sokka. Yeah, we can go stage cycle. I want to keep Sokka and Rosi as plays for next turn or just plays in general. Pitch to 1K. We do get to blow up both. On 10, he actually doesn't have Beppo, or he decides he wants to go a bit wider first. Which I guess if he's stunning a whole board here, maybe it's better for him to go wide like that. I don't want to take the 1, so in case that swing was bigger, I decide to counter the 7, and then I can always take the next swing because I know it's a Rosi. So I just pitch the Rosi. Go 7 at it, he thinks for a bit. I don't think there's actually like a good reason to save this ever. I think you're like basically dying next turn if you save it, and it's not going to contribute to you killing me. Sokka, we go stage to get the Don from Rosi. It's pitch departure. We want all these other cards. If we drew a brick, it'd be unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I'm not actually sure if there's a world we die here. I didn't actually do the math, but we really didn't have any other plays, so it just is what it is. Once he attaches the Don, we know there's no stun coming, so just free block the 7. I decided to counter this 7, just in case he goes 8. That way I can just keep as much counter as possible. And if he goes 6, I'm down to just counter that and stay here and heal back to 2. So we go 6 at 6. Decide to poke the smaller number with my smaller number, right? Just try to get cards, see what they want to do. Probably go stage here. We get a Rosi, so we're definitely going to play that instead of the promo. Not even sure if we were going to play the promo, though, to be honest. I think we were cycling it out a lot of the time. This just means like we don't feel bad about playing Rosi over a Rosi. I'm not worried about bluffing Don or anything. Just be efficient with it. I decide not to swing this Rosi Law just to make sure there's no weird lethal lines and plays around Lunas and stuff. Goes 10 at Saka. There's a world where you probably should just let this die. That way you have as many standing bodies going into the next turn as possible. But I decide 8k bigger than 6 and I block. I don't think it's the worst decision, but definitely a little greedy. He does go 8. I think I can go block 1 here. Go 9, just want to really threaten him here. Stage, see if we have any other options this turn. Unless we want to play Suru, we really don't. We could potentially still live a turn with like the amount of counter that we have and just floating one blocker. It's not impossible. But I do decide to like really threaten the lethal. I think they always take an 11 here though. If they don't, it's like basically math. Whereas now I have to decide he could have perfect counter to live here. So I'm just deciding, do I want to go for it? Do I want to just like hit big with my leader and pass? Because I like, in my head, I don't think, in my head I was like, maybe I live if I just float 2 to play around DMG in my blocker. But if he just starts like 11-11, I think the weenie splits make it very awkward to live unless we get good life. So for that reason, I do eventually decide to just send it, make him have perfect counter. He'd need a event 2-2-2 or 4-2-2-1. So we do just send it. It gets there. He has, I don't remember what he had, but he didn't have enough. He had like 2 bricks in hand. Yeah, he had 4-1 brick. That's like more of a common hand for Mihawk, you know? Some bricks at the end. That guy had no bricks somehow. He's just better. Yeah, those are the 3 games. Just figured I'd try to drop a quick video. Since it's been a while because of Gen Con, and then next week I'll be going to OKC. So I'll see if I decide to play Chinois Cup this week or just find games or what to upload. But yeah, and then for the future again, once 17 is on the sim and we have all the card lists for it and everything, I don't want to test it till we have every single card out. But yeah, we'll start testing that on YouTube probably a little bit. Again, I'm mostly interested in Rocks and the Luffy, but who knows? Maybe another deck would catch my eye. Maybe Rosie's still fine. It's probably gonna be one of those 2 decks for me though. I feel like, and that's some. I mean, I don't. It's hard to say for sure. It's too early, but those are the 3 I'm looking at first. But yeah, thanks for watching. No, I don't play Gum Gum Lightning. I prefer Twister. I think it's better. I'm sorry. I've had infinite people asking me. Like, it's fine for y'all to ask me. I said, as I'm gonna say now. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. Feel free. It's just that the amount of Gum Gum Lightning questions I get are insane. I feel like I've been answering Gum Gum Lightning questions all set. My answers never changed. It's never been in my deck. I feel like I've said this. But hey, you know what? My fault. I'm ranting a bit. If you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Even, actually, you know what? If you leave a Gum Gum Lightning question in the comments, I'll just know you didn't watch it all. And you know what? Fair play, I guess. But I also said it at the beginning, so I'll just know you don't listen, I guess. But, yeah. Peace.